Good morning, everyone from Vilamoura. This is the 470 World Championships 2021, day 4. We had a small delay due to the lack of wind, but the postponement went down approximately at 11:45, and the boats all sailed out of the marina into the race course. They're all getting ready for the first race. The start is predicted for 1 o'clock local time, and the first start will be for the women division, followed by the men, and after that the mixed teams. Here we have the scoreboard so far after 7 races. It's very tight in the front, only 2 points separating the top 3. We have the Swedes. They had a good day yesterday, Anton and Frederick now on 24, and the Russians Pavel and Denis on 24 as well. And then the Portuguese had the best day yesterday with a 2 and a 4, and they're now third on 26 points. The Spanish, they had a first good race yesterday with the third. They were leading the fleet, but with a bad race in the end, they dropped to fourth. On the women's division, we have the Spanish leading Silvia and Patricia. They managed to get 10 points now, lead over Camille and Aloise from France. And they also have 9 points ahead of the Dutch in third place, Aphrodite and Lopka. And after that, we have the Israeli team, Noya and Shahar, and then the Italians, Elena and Bianca. For the mixed teams, we have the Great Britain team, Amy and James, leading on 23 points, followed just 3 points behind by the Israelis, Jill and Noam, and then the French, Hugo and Colombe, on 37 points, same points as Maria Vittoria and Bruno, Italians, and 2 points behind the Spanish team, Patricia and Pablo. Have a nice shot here from the drone. Nice video from Vilamoura, showing that these teams, they have been here for the whole winter, preparing themselves during these strange times with this pandemic, with the COVID. Vilamoura always very quiet during the winter, so the perfect place for the teams to be based here with the great conditions, great sailing conditions. We also have the Dragons here doing some regattas over the winter, together with all the Olympic teams getting their preparation. Vilamoura Marina has the great facilities with this very wide slipway, easy to get on the water, very close to the race course. You just sail out, you immediately able to start training. Race course is also really close to the harbor. Spectacular footage from the 49er class. This is the 470 World Championships 2021 here. A lot of things in stake here. Not only the title, obviously, sailors fighting to win the World Championships, but also it's still Olympic qualification for some teams, internal qualification for some teams. And also still some countries to qualify at the moment in the men's fleet. The team leading that qualification for the last available slot for Europe is Portugal. The second team in this fight is Switzerland, a little bit further back. On the women class, at the moment, the Turkish are looking very strong to get their passport stamped for Tokyo.
Basically, we prepare for the Olympics in Tokyo, and this winter training is usually you just try to get in techniques, tacking, jibing, a lot of maneuvers.
Perfection, I would say. It's ideal conditions. Super warm, good breeze every day, and great waves. So training's really well.
Champagne conditions.
I'd say it's the perfect winter training venue.
In our last camp, we even got some dolphins chasing us around, so it was beautiful.
It's a fantastic venue, and we're really looking forward to the winter ahead.
Absolutely perfect sailing here. It's really, really nice.
We have 4 girls teams and 3 boys teams, all quite new to it. Just a lot of technique work.
Sunny, lots of sailing.
Good wind, good friendly people, and lots of Irish bars.
Here's some nice footage from Vilamoura, 49ers, 49er class. Beautiful setup. And we are now able to see the race course. This is the camera from our race office building, looking over the race course on the far distance. The conditions now 6 knots, around 6 knots of wind from 210. This is the race course for the first race. The boats will start upwind, go around mark number 1 into a reach to mark number 2. They'll bear away and go downwind to a gate. They can choose between 3S and 3P and then go back up to mark number 2. And again, spinnaker up, blasting down into the gate and straight to the finish. So we will see first start will be for the women. We will follow that start, but we will then go back to the starting line and follow the men. We'll follow their race. Meanwhile, we will try to give you as many updates as possible on the other fleets, on some of the roundings. We can see now still orange flag still down. It's race number 8. It will be the pre-start for the women fleet. As you can see, there's a nice breeze, 6-7 knots. We see there the board, 215, 215, the bearing to the top mark, 0.6 nautical miles. Thank you for your messages on the YouTube channel chat. I really appreciate. Very happy to see you all very loyal to this coverage every day following the 470 World Championships in Vilamoura. We will follow first the start for the women. The women are starting first. And then we will follow the race for the men. At the moment, getting ready. There was the orange flag, 10 minutes to go. All the teams still checking the wind, trying to find out where is the wind gonna shift first, to the left or to the right, if there's more pressure on the left or more pressure on the right. This race course doesn't have much current, so they focus much more on the wind. They have to make sure the boat is well set up, their shrouds on the right position, the tension on the forestay. They have to make sure everything is ready for the conditions. Overview on the race course. Here we are now with the Portuguese. These are the Pires brothers. They wanted to have a good result this week, but it's not working so well for them. Here, also the Swiss. Amazing footage. You can see our international race officer Miguel Amaral, always looking to see if there will be a change on the sailing conditions. If that happens, he needs to be sharp, make sure he's able to change the course. He also needs to be sure that the wind conditions are good enough for the start. He's confident for the moment. The orange flag is up. There's no AP. Also there on the race committee we have Pınar from Turkey. She will be the race officer in Tokyo for the 470 class for the Olympics. Here we have the American sisters. They had a brilliant day yesterday with the first and the second. They moved up to 6th overall. Amazing performance from this American team yesterday. Carmen and Emma Cowles. Same conditions today as they had yesterday. I'm pretty sure we should keep our eyes on this American team. They seem very happy with this kind of conditions. See if they can keep up with the performance from yesterday. Here the Russian girls, Alisa Kirilyuk. Very good. I'm a very good friend of her father. He also sails the Dragons for Russia. Alisa is here trying to qualify the country for the Olympics with her crew, Anzelika Cherniakovskaya. I hope I got that right. But at the moment they are behind the Turkish team. The Turkish team is 17th overall on 76 points, and they will take the slot to the Olympics if Alisa and Anzelika don't step up their game. Also the Ukrainians a little even further back in 25th, Anna and Annelina, dreaming about this slot, but they need to do a bit better. Here we go for the 5 minutes. 5 minutes for the start. We have here the leaders. The Spanish team leading this fleet with 10 points lead. Silvia and Patricia leading from Camille and Aloise. You can see here the committee boat in the middle of your screen. All the coach boats to lower, trying to see what's going on. They need to take as much information out of this race to give some feedback to the sailors for the following race. We have the U flag here, 4 minutes for the start. We can feel the tension rising here on the women's fleet. It's race number 8. On Saturday we will have the medal race for each fleet. So 4 more fleet races. Only the top 10 overall will qualify for the medal race. Germany 69, they did a great job on day number 2. Yesterday was not their day. They had a 9th and a 17th. They dropped a little bit overall. Remind you that they had the 1st and the 2nd on races 3 and 4. See here the angle of the Spanish off the line on port. They're trying to see what side of the line is favored. Could be a pin end bias, but from the office not so easy to check that. Sometimes even from the water is not so easy. That's why we see the fleet spread over the line. Some of the sailors decide to go to the pin, others try to start on the committee boat. Also the side of the course that they prefer sometimes makes them choose between one side or the other. Sometimes you give away the bias in the line because you want to go to the other side of the course.
And we have 2 minutes to the start.
I'm looking at your messages here. We are going to follow the start for the women, but then we'll go back to the start and follow the race, the full race for men. We will give you some updates on mark roundings if we can. Sometimes it's a bit hard. Our race management team is working all the time. Priority is to give the sailors the best race, but they promised me when they have a chance they'll give me some information on mark roundings. Keep you all informed. Not far to go here. The next gun, we will see that U flag go down. It will be the last minute on the countdown for this start of race number 8. 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go, and we see the pin end not so busy here.
Right now there's quite a crowd near the committee.
More boats near the committee boat.
A line sack in the middle of the stars on the zone 3 of the starting line.
We can see here with the zoom out, we can see the teams fighting for the committee end of the line. Some sailors going verbal here. They're really trying to squeeze. Italians going for a double tack there. They have to make sure they finish that tack to be on starboard so they don't foul the Americans.
8, 7, 6,
5 seconds to go.
4, 3, 2, 1, gun.
And here we go for the start of race number 8 for the women. It looks like the committee boat was biased. Anna Mills going straight for attack. She was not under pressure there, but she just wants to go right. Italians once again in the pin end. They did the 2 starts yesterday from the pin. That didn't go that well on the first race, but they still believe on the left. Here we go. Anna Mills. And here the Greek team. Emilia Sufla crewing for Ariane Paraskevi. I remind you, this skipper only 20 years old, sailing with Emilia Sufla, gold medalist from 2004 in Athens, 48 years old. Super experienced sailor. You can see a little split here on the fleet. Half the fleet going right, the other half is going left. GBR1 looks good here on the right hand side. Try to get the view also over the left hand. The other Italian team coming here to the right hand side as well. We see Camille and Aloise to windward of the Americans. Also pushing a little bit to the right. They're 10 points behind the Spanish. They need to make a move here if they want to become world champions in 2021. Here we go, we see the left hand side. It's Elena and Bianca leading the fleet on the left. Question will be, when they tack, can they cross? They will need a little extra wind or extra left hand shift to be able to get across. It looks okay. The boat to windward there, I believe, are the Russians. They look a little bit higher. There they go, straight for attack. They don't wanna get vulnerable here on the left-hand corner. Looks like they are getting across the Russians. That's a good signal. It's a good sign if they manage to get across. Here on the right side, not many things happening at the moment. They're just working on their speeds, trying to hold the lane. The Greeks going for attack. They could have been on the bad air from the English team. Decide to step up a little bit the ladder to the left. Try to find a clear lane. That's right, I mixed up the teams here. So many sail letters and numbers. The team we saw on the right hand side was not Ariane and Emilia. It was Maria and Rafaelina. I'm sorry, but my spelling sometimes not perfect. Thank you for that, Nikos. Here the Italian team trying to squeeze the Swedes. If they manage to get closer to them, they start giving them some bad air, some turbulence from their mainsail. The right didn't pay that much yesterday. Is he gonna pay today? Find out soon. We are going to leave this women's fleet in a moment, and we're gonna follow the men's fleet. At the moment, the left looks strong. The Italians were looking strong here on the right hand side. Italy 6. They crossed the fleet. We can see them leading. Further away from our camera, we also see there, here on the right hand side, USA 1824. They did great yesterday, but they didn't have the best start on this race. Let's see if they can come back on this race. Germany 69 also pushing the left hand side of the course. We're gonna go now for the start of race number 8 for the men. For the men's division, we have a very tight fight in the front between the Swedes, the Russians and the Portuguese. Spanish didn't have a great day yesterday. They moved back a little. We can see now Anton and Frederick leading the overall scores with the same points as the Russians on 24. Portuguese brothers Costa following them only 2 points behind. This will be a very tight fight for the title. Spanish still have a word to say. They're only 9 points behind, so everything can happen. The Americans a little bit further back, but with these conditions we never know. Here we have the view over the race course. Women fleet on their way up to mark number 1. They will go around the top mark and reach to mark number 2. Meanwhile, the men will start here and will go upwind to mark number 1 as well, but then they will hoist the spinnakers to go downwind to the gate 4S, 4P. So it's the inner course for the men and the outer course for the women. The mixed teams will then sail also the inner course. We can see here, this one is the outer course that the women will be sailing. So they go from 1 to 2. The men will go from 1 to 4S or 4P instead. This way, the fleets, they are not crossing each other so much. So we have one fleet on the outside leg for the second beat and the other 2 fleets on the right hand side leg to go up and down. We are here now for the start of the men. Our camera operators now back to the start to follow this race. We see there the U flag still up. So it's less than 4. It's more than 1 minute and less than 4. We'll try to find out when that flag goes down. It will be the last minute for the start. I have the information here that Oscar flag will go up on the top mark. That means that the teams will be allowed pumping and rocking. We will see all those masts swinging around. The teams trying to get extra power on the sails with all that pumping. When the flag is not up, they are not allowed to do that. They have to stay still and just trim the sails. We are waiting for our camera boats to get on a good position so we can see this start for the men. I believe the U flag is already down. Last minute, Swedish here fighting leaders of the overall score, fighting here for the pin end with the Italians. You can see the that's the countdown.
4, 3,
Portuguese team here to windward on the committee boat. Okay, start. There is a whistle. Germans going straight into attack. Oh, the Swedes didn't have the best start there. They had to tack into port. They're trying to get across some boats, but there's a lot of traffic. They have to tack back. Meanwhile, I get some messages from some friends here We're all sailors, it's a small world. Mark Pickle telling me not to get too excited. It's a 470. Mark, you should try a 470, mate. You'll be impressed. Mark Pickle, former star sailor. This angle here from the left hand side of the course, we can see this fleet splitting a little bit. See the Portuguese brothers Costa, third overall so far. Amazing job, 2 points off the lead behind the Swedes and the Russians. Decided to take the right hand side of the course. That's probably that boat on the far end of our screen, further left. Away from the camera could be the Portuguese over there. Still going right. We see some boats here coming to the left hand side. Team from Great Britain leading the pack here on the left. It's Luke Patience and Christian Grub. The other English team just behind Martin and Alexander. Also trying for the left hand side of the course. That's quite a nice angle off that tack for Luke. He could be ahead of the boats on the right. Doesn't look bad at all. Portuguese also tacking here. Very nice job from our cameramans. Getting the angles for both ends of the course. We can see that actually the boats that are looking for the lead here, it's either the one further left or the one further right. But it's early to say. For the moment, great job from the Costa brothers. Third overall. We saw the Swedes didn't have the best start. I haven't seen the Russians yet, or the Spanish. We could see a change on the overall lead board after this race. With just 2 points separating the top three, it's most likely that we will see a lot of changes on the leaderboard until the end of this regatta. That's the Russians over there on the right. They're coming on port. The mixed teams will start with the Oscar flag. Men and women, they start without the Oscar flag, so they're not allowed to pump. So you can see they are much more still on the trapeze. They are not allowed to pump the boats. We are here in Vilamoura for 70 World Championships 2021. It's all happening here with the 470 class. The world title is in stake. Also Olympic qualification. We have here the angle from the right hand side of the course. The Portuguese came across in front of most teams on that side, but it looks like it will be GBR crossing. We can also see the women fleet. They're already downwind to their leg number 3. Here is the man on leg number 1. We'll try to get an update on the mark roundings for the girls. So the Portuguese crossing the Russians. They're 2 points behind the Russians. I haven't seen the Spanish yet. The Swedes also coming on port behind the Portuguese, just to the left of the Portuguese mainsail. You can see the Swedes coming on port tack. They didn't have the best start from the pin. That was quite expensive. The Brazilians also coming from the left, not looking bad at all. The Portuguese, they don't look that far back from the English. They are holding in there. They're probably a little bit to windward of the English team, so they are able to keep this lane. GBR for leading the race at the moment, early stages, but it's so important to get this edge over the fleet. In the beginning, Portuguese might be crossing in front of these 3 boats. They could be tacking underneath the English. That's right, they're going for attack. They don't want to push too much on that side because they want to get to the ley line. On the right hand side of the course to get on starboard and approach that top mark on starboard tack right away. The breeze build up a little bit. That's why the race committee is going to show Oscar flag on the top mark, and from that moment sailors will be allowed to pump and rock the boats. This course was actually quite... Here we have the Spanish team. Finally we can see them. They are not that far behind. Portuguese going for attack there. They probably want to clear their wind or protect the position to those 3 boats that were coming from the left. Look, Patience still crossing ahead of the whole fleet. Great job. They started close to the pin. They had the best start on that side of the line. They played the left side. We saw the leader coming from the left and the Portuguese coming from the right. They could be second in this race around the top mark. We can see a very compact fleet here, much more stable winds. The Pires brothers here on the left hand side not looking great. Here we go. Look, Patience looking strong to lead the fleet on race number 8 of the World Championships. Luke was only 19th overall this morning. With a bullet, they could improve their overall score. We see another boat here coming second. It's not the Portuguese coming on second. It's the Russians. The Russians, they did a good job in the last part of the beat. Oh, it's not the Russians. Sorry, I saw the blue bibs. I thought it was Russians. It's another GBR boat. And the Portuguese now third. Greeks are fourth. Russians fifth. And the Spanish about 6 or 7. The Swedes are not around yet. And unless I missed them going through, I didn't see the Swedes. Here back to the front of the fleet we can see Luke Patience. They are all rocking the boats around. Oscar is up. Pumping is allowed. Luke Patience leading from Martin, Luke and Christian, leading from Martin and Alexander, followed by the Portuguese team, Diogo and Pedro Costa. Their main target for this regatta is to qualify the country, but they are looking a little bit better than that. They can guarantee their passport for the Olympics, but they can also challenge the front of the leaderboard. They were 2 points behind the Russians and they are right now 2 places ahead, so that will give them a joint lead after race 8. The Swedes were further back, the Spanish a little bit further back as well. We will try to find out where are the Swedes. Here our cameraman moving to the left of the fleet, going downwind. Brilliant sailing conditions in Vilamoura. Wow! How I would like to be out there sailing. The men's fleet sailing downwind to gate 4P and 4S. Swedes, we can see the Swedes there behind the Portuguese. Question is, how many boats are in between both boats? We are trying to get some updates on the mark roundings, but I'm afraid I don't have any information for you yet. Luke Patience and Christian Gruber still leading downwind. The Portuguese following them. There's another GBR team. We can see them just to the left of the spinnaker here from GBR 4. That's GBR 55 on the left hand side of your screen. They're all fighting for this race. We can see the mixed teams now going upwind. Both fleets converging a bit. Luke Patience going for a jibe. Christian changing that spinnaker pole, trying to keep that spinnaker flying. Portuguese also going for a jibe there. They might be trying to steal some wind from GBR 55. Martin and Alexander. Here we go. Both Great Britain teams leading the race, fighting for that bullet. They haven't performed that well this week. They are both 19th and 20th overall. But this will help them get a bit better. We can see here the gate. So Luke Patience taking the left-hand mark of your screen. protecting the left-hand side of the course. Portuguese are going to split from the both Great Britain team. They're taking the right-hand mark, going around now, followed by the Greek. Remind you, the Greeks are also looking good on the scoreboard. They are 6 overall for the moment. Panagiotis and Pavlos, the Russians just behind, still 2 places behind. The Swedes, they made a good job on the end of that beat, and the downwind leg, they're just behind the Russians. I believe all these 4 boats that were on top of the leaderboard this morning, they are all very close to each other. Beautiful sailing conditions in Vilamoura. It's sunny, it's warm, the wind is blowing from the south. Little change of course here, that's the whistles there with sea flag, with the board with the sea flag. Our race management team, always sharp, keeping that course on the right position. If there's any shifts, they will change the course. Split again, GBR again on the left hand side of the course. Portuguese, they are happy with the right. Look at that leech on that mainsail. That's how Pedro is pumping that trapeze, trying to get the speed, trying to go faster, trying to sail away from the opposition. They want to beat the Russians and they want to beat the Swedes. They got that red bib on, but they want the yellow one. Is the right gonna pay? Are they gonna overtake both Great Britain teams on the left? You can see the Russians there coming right as well. They had to do 2 tacks probably to clear their winds. Portuguese, they led the race, the mark, the left hand mark, so they had no boats ahead of them to give them any wind turbulence. But the boats that follow them, sometimes they struggle to hold the lane. There they go for attack. Now we are going to find out. Did the right hand side pay? Swiss team, Swiss number 8 here on the left hand side, Yves and Cyril from Tunersee Yacht Club. Tunersee Yacht Club. I have very good memories from Tunersee, from 2017 Dragon European Championship. I will not say more. I am trying to get information on the other teams. I got a message here. I'm gonna forward that to you if there's anything. So from the mixed teams, I have the mark roundings. For mark number 1, it was Israel 311 first around the mark, followed by the Spanish number 8 in second place, GBR 889 third, Spain 28 fourth, and Ukraine 79 fifth. This was the mixed fleet mark rounding number 1. I still have no information on the women, but I promise you I'm trying to get that. We can see here the Portuguese actually crossing ahead of the Great Britain team, GBR 55. Portuguese moving up in this race. Look patient to windward. Sorry, they haven't crossed the GBR team yet. That was the angle was not clear. But They look fast. Portuguese look fast. They look higher than Luke Patience. Very physical conditions here with this wind, because they're allowed to pump. Oscar flag is up. They're allowed to pump. They're allowed to rock the boat. Look at that. Pedro working so hard. Pedro Costa. The Portuguese brothers. Their home turf. Trying to show the Portuguese that we still have some good sailors around. We have plenty of good sailors in Portugal. They look faster. This is the fight for the win on race number 8, Men Fleet, for 70 World Championship 2021. This is Pedro Andrade live for you. I have a question here. If the Costa brothers are lighter, I'm not sure about that. But they're looking good. Now, Pedro seems that he lost a little bit of breath there. You can see Christian now pumping the boat. Pedro now is pumping a little. It's very physical. This will be very tight on the top mark between these teams. I'm not sure how far to the lane line they are at the moment, but the Portuguese will try. There they go. They went for the tack. There's the mark ahead. It looks like the Costa brothers clear ahead of GBR 55. They were third behind the British. I have to say, these Portuguese guys, they are doing a good job. They are higher. They are much higher than Luke and Christian. Look how hard Pedro's working. We'll get to find him a good massage later on. Those legs will be burning. Both, even Diogo, pumping the boat. Can see a lot of motivation in this team. They are killing it. It's race number 8. And the Portuguese looking good. They were third overall, behind the Russians and the Swedes, only 2 points behind. We can see the Spanish there. They're well into the top 10 in this race. But with the Portuguese leading the race, they're gonna lose even more points to the lead. Remind you that they were leading the regatta before race number 7. But they had a shocking race. On race number 7, they finished 21 or 20, and it was their discard. They finished 20th yesterday afternoon. The Russians coming from the left. They look like they are very close to the British. But the British on starboard tack, the Swedes also on the left-hand side of the course. The Turkish looking good on the left. Are they gonna cross? You can see 6 boats here, very tight. So the Russians just dipped the British. Try to find out if the Portuguese are already on the ley line. If they are, maybe the Russians could be tacking underneath. They're not doing that, so they're... Oh, the Portuguese also not on the ley line yet. They decided to cover the Russians here. Give them a little bit of bad air, force them into attack. The Russians trying really hard to hold this lane. But I'm afraid they will start to get some turbulence from the Portuguese. Diogo looking back, going for attack. Yes, that's why the Russians didn't go for attack. They wanted to go to ley line. Portuguese now on lay, crossing Luke Patience and Christian. Crossing the other British team, leading the race. Going into leg 4 of race number 8, there is a change of lead. It's Portugal 21, Diogo and Pedro Costa. Followed by Luke Patience and Christian. And the Turks having a nice race. Dennis and 8, they came back. You're not sure what was their position on the mark, on the previous mark, but managed to jump into 3rd in this race. Look now, hoisting the spinnaker. It's a tight reach, that's why they didn't hoist immediately. The Swedes went straight to a jibe and stayed low, trying to get some clear air underneath. Wow, look at that lead from the Portuguese. They are killing it. From mark number 2 of the women, we see the top 5 were Italy 6, Brazil 177, Netherlands 1-1, GBR 1 and Swiss 5. So the 470 men fleet reaching on leg number 4 towards mark number 2 to then bear away, go downwind all the way to the gate, to the next gate. And into a small reach to the finish. The Swedes are over there to the leeward side. They decided to go deep. Sometimes on the reach, some boats decide to stay high to clear their winds, and if they go too high in the end of the leg, they will have to put the bow down, and going lower is not so fast, and the Swedes could make a move on some of these teams. You can see here the Portuguese a little bit lower than the pack. See the Swedes there to the right hand side. We will see if that was a good call. We are just about to see a change on the leaderboard, and I'm afraid it will be the Portuguese leading the overall scores after race number 8. We didn't manage to see how the Swedes managed to get up to the top. I believe on the first downwind they didn't jibe early, they left. They went to the right hand side looking downwind, left it late for a jibe, they came in. And then they took the left hand side again going upwind. Made a good move to go around the top mark, close to the front of the fleet. I do like the option that the Swedes took on this reach to hoist and stay a little deeper to try and get the clear separation from the windward boats to have some clear air. If they manage to keep that clear air in the end of this reach, they will be higher than the teams to windward and going faster. Oscar flag up, we see the masts rocking around, the teams trying to get the speed. Great shot here. We see the Spanish team. They needed a good score. They were leading after race number 6. They lost the lead on race number 7 and not looking great in this race number 8. They were the favorites for this regatta. Ranked number 1 in the world. Here we go, Portuguese now. That could be a right-hand shift, and teams are not getting that close to that mark. They are now on the leg number 5. They went across mark 2 to leg number 5. You see the Swedes there. They could even be challenging the Portuguese to leeward. It's hard to tell yet. We need to check the angles. But the Swedes, it really looked like a good move from the Swedes to hoist the spinnaker, stay low, stay away from the windward boats. They did make a good move there. Must have been a little bit of a shift because the boats are not coming that close to this mark number 2. But if it was such a shift to the right, we would be looking at a jibe. We didn't see that either, so I wonder why the boats came on such a wide angle to this mark. We see here the Swiss 46 back there. They were without the spinnaker. They might have had some failure, gear failure there, ripped spinnaker or something. The women fleet just finished the race. We will give you the provisional scores for race number 8 for the women as soon as I receive this scoring sheet. Here's the fight for the win in race number 8. If the Portuguese finish 2 places ahead of the Swedes, they will be leading. But if the Swedes manage to get up to 2nd or even ahead of the Portuguese, they will keep their lead. We see here is the top 3 overall. The Swedes on the right-hand side of your screen, the Portuguese in the middle, and the Russians on the left side of your screen. They are working hard here. Amazing job from the Swedes. I couldn't find them on the first beat. I saw them off the line. They were close to the pin end. They didn't have a good start. They had to tack onto port. They dipped a few boats. Now they run into a jibe. We will see who is actually leading here. Right of way is for the Swedish boat coming on starboard jibe. Could be that the Portuguese still leading. Yes, they are. Still comfortable lead. See if any more boats here to the left-hand side of the screen could be challenging the Swedes and the Russians. We know that the GBR4, Luke and Christian, and the Turks 890, they were second and third on the top mark. They had to stay high on that reach to keep clear air, and that could have cost them the place to the Swedes, gave the Swedes an opportunity to make a move to leeward of the whole fleet. Might be getting closer to this finish line. What an amazing job from these Portuguese brothers, Diogo and Pedro Costa. They've told me they've been training very hard with the Swedes and the Spanish, three of the strongest teams at the moment during this regatta. They were training partners, and it seems like they've done a good job, all three of them. Costa brothers. They had a good lead over the opposition for the Olympic slot, but they were very conservative on their speech. They didn't want to celebrate anything yet. Still a few races to go. And this result on race number 8 will definitely give them a huge push to this Olympic qualification. They are about 2 minutes away from the leeward mark to go then into a jibe. Look, Patience, Luke and Christian, they look still ahead of the Swedes. The Turks there, it looks like the Swedes could have made a move on the Turks. At the moment, my guess is Portugal in front from GBR4, from Sweden, and then the Turks and the Russians, they might be very, very tight. That's the final jibe of this race. They will go around the gate, the left-hand gate mark, to the finish, a reach to the finish. It's the final moments of race number 8 for 70 World Championships in Vilamoura. It's Portugal 21 going around the gate to the final reach, a small reach. Very tight fight here between the Swedes and the British. We will follow the Portuguese to the finish, and then we will find out who manages to get the second place in this race. It's the leaderboard in stake here. You can see the British boat still ahead of the Swedes, and the Turks still fourth around that mark. My guess is GBR 55 behind the Turks, and it's a bullet for Portugal 21, Diogo and Pedro Costa, our local heroes. Luke, Patience and Christian, GBR 4, second in race number 8 from Sweden 349. Anton and Frederick now tied for the leaderboard with the Portuguese. The Turkish finishing fourth, followed by Japan 20. Where did they come from? We haven't seen them. We see the Spanish here. Is that eighth? And then the Russians, they lost a little bit in the end of this race. Hungary 1, France 27. Great conditions here, look at that. 470 is ripping downwind with the spinnakers. We have the finishing order from the women fleet. It was, let me tell you. You're all waiting to hear this. Italy 6, Elena and Bianca, winners of race number 8, followed by the Brazilians. In second place, Brazilians second, Netherlands third, GBR 1 fourth, Switzerland fifth. Diogo and Pedro Costa, Portuguese 470 team, looking good to get their passport for the Olympics. We are going to go for a short break here. Stand by from Vilamoura, Pedro Andrade. Good afternoon. We are back to the 470 World Championships in Vilamoura 2021. We will be following race number 9 for the women fleet. We just finished race number 8. Conditions are absolutely perfect outside. We have about 12 knots from 210. The women getting ready for the start. Start coming very shortly. We're having an overview over the race course. It is the start for the women class here. We can see the pin end not that busy. Looks like there was a little bias on the committee end. I will confirm if that was a clear start. The Turkish starting here on the left hand side of the start on the pin end. Beautiful conditions here, 12 knots of wind coming from 200. We saw from the first race the Spanish team increasing their lead. Now that the Dutch team overtook the French overall, Aphrodite and Lopka, I believe they are actually that boat looking to be leading the fleet, the middle of the course. I believe they started close to the committee boat, but facing the left hand side of the course. There's another boat to windward. We will try to find out who that is. Boat tacking to the right, probably losing the lane to the Dutch team. Didn't want to stay in dirty air coming from that Dutch mainsail. Lopka Berkout working hard on that trapeze. Aphrodite playing that mainsail. The Oscar flag is up. We can see some movement on the masts and the leach of the mainsail. That's from the pumping. Here's the view over the right hand side of the course. We see the Ukrainian team, 93, furthest left boat, furthest right boat on the race course. Also Turkish 21 looking good there to windward of the Brazilians, just to leeward of the English teams. You can see as our camera boat moves forward, we can see a little bit what's going on here on the fleet. GBR Anna Mills looking good there to windward of the Turkish team. Anna was lying 13th after race number 8, after finishing 4th in that race 8. They look strong after this start. Swedes had to go rolling to attack, to starboard, either to be clear of the British team, or just because they wanted to protect a little bit the left side. There they go for attack. Hannah and Elith. Turkish also attacking. Ukrainians gonna follow. Absolutely beautiful conditions in Vilamoura. Looking from this angle, it looks like the British team are looking quite strong here. Question is, what's the angle that the boats from the left will be crossing on port? If we get a view from a little bit further forward here, our cameraman's moving forward, we will be able to see here the boat on the left coming back. That could be the Dutch team on port deck. Aphrodite and Lopka, how many boats are they gonna be able to get across? Well, looking from here, maybe that was the Dutch team. It's hard to see, but they are looking strong. I believe that's the Dutch team that you can see there, close to the left side of your screen on port deck, sailing across. Here, the same angle from the other side, we can see the Dutch team coming on port there. I believe it's the Dutch, but we will confirm in a second. Very compact the fleet here, very stable winds. We don't see a big separation on the fleet. It looks like if the Dutch get across from the left, they will be the only team looking strong from the left. Most of these teams on the right, they look to be the majority of the top of the fleet. For those who don't understand a lot about sailing, the boats cannot go on a straight line to the top mark. The wind is coming from the top mark, so they need to go tacking upwind, trying to get the best angle to that top mark. It's very close between. We can confirm now that's the Dutch team that were crossing on port. See the Spanish overall leaders on the left hand side of our screen here, and the French. The French, I just saw them not looking great. Well, I know Lopka, with all her experience, multiple world champion, with other skippers in the past, with Marceline de Koning and Lisa Westerhoff. She has a silver medal and a bronze medal, now sailing with Aphrodite. Aphrodite is also a great sailor. She's new into the 470 class, but already with a lot of experience. With a few months to go for the Olympics, all these teams are working really hard. They want to prepare the best way to get to the Olympics on the best form, and there's no place better to prepare themselves than Vilamoura, offering such a variety of conditions. We had the wind coming from the land on the first 2 days. Yesterday, light breeze from the south. Today it started light, but it has been building this thermal wind from the south. Here we have a great shot over the Dutch team, Aphrodite and Lopka. They look a little faster than the Turkish. Here we go, Lopka unhooking the trapeze, holding on to it, rocking that boat, trying to get extra speed. They must be getting close now to the ley line. They're going for attack.
Let's see what's the outcome between the left side of the course.
We'll try to figure out now the boats that I remind you that Aphrodite and Lopka, they were on the left-hand side. They decided to get across to the right-hand side of the course. Hannah Mills, Hannah and Elith McIntyre, they started close to the committee boat, played the right-hand side, but they are now on the left-hand side of the course. What a shot. Beautiful footage from Vilamoura.
GBR 1 versus Netherlands 11.
It will be very close between Netherlands 11 and GBR 1 to the top mark. We can see both teams on our screen fighting for this lead in the early stages of this race 9, leg 1. I'm not sure if the British team can make the mark or if they need to go for a couple of more tacks. They could be laying the mark. The Dutch overstood a little bit. They played safe, but they are in a good position. They were third overall this morning. They climbed up to second after the first race today, looking strong on this race, going around the top mark in second place, followed by the Americans 1810 and the Germans. You can see a very compact fleet now going around the mark. The Spanish coming on starboard there, not looking great, about 10 boats behind the Dutch.
On the mark now, needs to do the penalty, one-turn penalty.
You can see some boats getting stuck in the mark. That boat now that they tacked onto port, that's a foul. It's a German team, 26. It's a lot of teams doing turns, a lot of penalties here. I remind you that the boats that are approaching from the left side of your screen, they're coming on starboard tack, they have right of way. The boats that come from the right on port tack, they have to give way. Here we are back to the head of the fleet. They're going into a reach to mark number 2. We can see the helms sometimes sitting to leeward, sometimes to windward, depends on the pressure. Hannah Mills, super experienced sailor. Many medals in World Championships, European Championships, Olympics around her neck. This British team didn't start the best way this week, but today they are stepping up their game. They finished 4th in the first race, now leading the pack in race number 8, followed by the Dutch team, second overall at the moment. Consistency playing a big role here for the Dutch team. They had one bad race, but they were consistently up front. The Spanish, they had also a 15th as a discard. They finished 9th this morning. Let's see what can they do with these wind conditions. Pretty sure all the sailors that are watching this are thinking, gosh, I wish I could be out there sailing. Look at these conditions. We don't have any tracking system during this regatta, but we will be updating you on the mark roundings whenever we can. I know that the men are going upwind now. I have here an update on the start, from the start for the women. Unfortunately, USA 1824, they were over the line. It's unfortunate for the sisters Carmen and Emma Cools. They did a great job yesterday with the first and the second. They didn't have a great race, first race today with the 24th, and now a UFD. Feel sorry for them. They were so motivated this morning after a brilliant day yesterday. This is the downwind leg, leg number 3. It's GBR 1 from Netherlands 11, from Germany 69. Sorry, it was USA 1810 going around the mark 3rd, Germany 69 4th, and Germany 20 5th. The men's fleet on their way upwind, 7 minutes for the start to the mixed teams. Meanwhile, we're here with the women. Oscar flag up, rocking and popping aloud, very physical. Back to the front of the fleet here with the GBR team, 1 Anna Mills and Aelith McIntyre. Looks like a little bit less wind here in the front of the pack. It doesn't look like it's a problem for them. They're still going fast. Here we have a view over the Spanish teams, overall leaders, not having a great race here. They could become a little nervous looking at the Dutch team making a move in the front. second around the top mark. They need to shorten the distance to that Dutch team if they want to keep their lead. Aphrodite Ziegers and Lopka Berkhout. Beautiful, beautiful sailing. I have some information here. Thank you, Graham, for you're such an encyclopedia. Eilidh McIntyre, the daughter of Mike McIntyre, former Olympic champion in the star class. Eilidh now crewing for Anna Mills. It looks like they pulled away a little bit from the Dutch team. Good technique downwind. You can see Anna driving that 470 up and down that wave, trying to stay on the surf. Russians, Alisa Kirliuk, Angelika Cherniakovskaya. I will get that right, yeah, if I haven't done that yet. Alisa, she's the daughter of Andrei Kirliuk, a great dragon sailor, former Tornado Olympic sailor from Russia. Great friend of mine. The Spanish team trying to cut the loss here. They need to work hard. They need to short the distance to the Dutch team. They are working really hard. They will not settle for that position. I am checking all the messages on the YouTube chat, and I will try to answer any questions. Meanwhile, we're following the women sailing downwind in this leg number 3 for race 9. It's the World Championships in Vilamoura, the 470 class. Vilamoura now holding so many big events in sailing. We'll have the fins, we'll have the lasers. We also have a lot of dragons racing in this course. Dragon class, a former Olympic class. Beautiful classic boats with 90 years of history. We had their 90th anniversary in San Remo in 2019 with 165 boats. It's an amazing sight over the racecourse here, and the amazing performance from the British team. Anna Mills, Eilidh McIntyre ripping downwind, rocking the boat with the Oscar flag They are allowed to pump. Look at that big pump on the spinnaker, trying to keep that bow on that wave. See that left hand from Eilith pumping the windward sheet of the spinnaker. And then Anna sailing low by the lead to keep that bow on that wave. They're ripping downwind. They are sailing away from the opposition. The Dutch team look like they cannot keep up with the British. Back up with the bow again. Try to get the next wave. Getting ready for a jibe. Jib in. No. They are getting ready for a drop. Spinnaker drop approaching the leeward gate. GBR 1. Taking the left hand mark, looking downwind. Look at that lead. Spinnaker pull inside the boat, spinnaker down into the bag, grab the trapeze harness, and out she goes on the trapeze, going upwind, working hard, pumping that trapeze to help the bow go through the waves. Eilith McIntyre following her dad's steps in sailing. Will they be able to get an Olympic gold medal in Tokyo? Another one for the family? Meanwhile, I have some informations here from the main fleet. And are you guys ready for this? The mark rounding, mark number 1, and leading the race is actually Portugal 21. The Costa brothers winning the first race today and leading race number 9. They are on fire. Followed by the Greek number 10. Greek number 10, second in the race, Vasilis and Ioannis, followed by the Swedes, Anton and Frederick, trying to keep up with the Portuguese. They were tied on points after the previous race. Here we go, a lot of action on this mark. The sailors trying to get that inside mark. Also Austria 1 going 4th around the mark in the men's fleet, and Italy 757 5th around the mark on the men's fleet. I have been talking a lot to the Costa brothers. Obviously, they are very excited about these results, but their main focus is to qualify for the Olympics. But they are doing much more than that. They are leading the World Championships in Vilamoura 2021, winning race number 8, and now leading race number 9. How about that? I can't help being excited about this. British team working hard, great tactics here, staying between the opposition and the next mark. Eilith working hard on that trapeze, Hannah playing that mainsail. Amazing conditions in Vilamoura. Charlie flag for the men. That means a change of course. It's a Charlie plus green. So that means the course, they are stretching the course a little bit. They want the race to be on the target time-wise. So they stretch a little bit with this wind increase. They make it a little bit bigger. Here are all the girls. We can see the landscape on the back of your screen. Beautiful beach in Vilamoura, Praia da Rocha. The other side is Quarteira. Girls working really hard upwind. It's the last race of the day. Come on, Edith. Keep working. It's Anna Mills and Elif McIntyre leading the race. Number 9 for the women fleet. Second around the bottom gate was Netherlands 11. Aphrodite Zegers and Lopka Beckhout. I have an update on the men's fleet. Around the bottom gate it was Greek 10. We can see here from the drone a little bit the rounding of the men's fleet. It was Greek 10 from Spain 44, Italy 757, Portugal 21 and Sweden 349. Portuguese losing their lead, losing 3 places downwind, but still ahead of the Swedes. Spanish looking better now. They lost the lead of the regatta after the second race yesterday. We're back into the women's. I'm looking here on the chat, and I did promise to follow a race for the mixed team. We will do it tomorrow. I will work on that, I promise. But meanwhile, you have to understand that this is an Olympic discipline. The men and the women fleet, the mixed, will be the next Olympic discipline for 2024. And it is our priority here. There's a lot of things in stake. Is the Olympic qualification for some of the countries that haven't qualified yet. Also some internal trials between some countries. For example, the Germans, they are qualified for the Olympics, but they haven't decided which team, so the Germans are racing each other here to try and be the best on the overall scoreboard to become the representatives for Germany. The same with other countries like Italy, for example, also. I have the mark rounding for the mixed teams. Finally, some information for you. Top mark for the mixed teams was Spain 8, second Spain 4, third Italy 54, fourth Italy 75, and fifth France 13. like to give a big thank you to Bia on the race committee. She is using her binoculars to try and find out who are going around the marks, so I can feed you with this information. We cannot follow all the races on the same time. And now we are following the girls' women fleet for race 9 for 70 World Championships 2021. And Vilamoura is sending it. Beautiful, sunny conditions, nice winds, 12-13 knots from the south.
3-4 minutes. GBR keep controlling Germany and Netherlands. They are very close to each other, Germany and Netherlands. So it will be a very tight rounding mark between those two. And let's see if GBR keeps controlling as well as they are being doing until now. Very good performance.
We can see here the GBR boat totally under control between the top mark and the Dutch team, Aphrodite and Lopka. No problem there. Big lead. Beautiful landscape on the back of your screen. Praia da Rocha. During the summer, full of tourists. It was a totally different scenario in the last summer. There was nobody there. Let's pray that the next summer we will see a lot of people coming down to the Algarve. Local economy really needs a little push here. Meanwhile, we see the 470 class ripping upwind to the top mark. They're gonna be around the mark in a couple of minutes. And still GBR under control, no problem. They don't want the camera boat there because they want to go for attack. Here they go for attack. They are on the ley line. They will go straight to this top mark on this stab attack. Bear away. Spinnaker hoist around that mark. They're approaching the top mark. Can see the Spanish coming on port there. They have a lot of work to do. They need to catch up with the Dutch if they don't want to lose too many points. Here we go for the top mark. And it's GBR1, Hannah Mills and Ellie McIntyre. Bear away. Get that spinnaker pole. Go to the halyard, spinnaker up. And bang, here we go. Spinnaker flying. Everything is set. Totally under control. Perfect conditions in Vilamoura. Germany 69 making a move on the Dutch team. There they go. It's a tight fight here between these two teams. German team had the spinnaker to windward. but they managed to get it around the forestay. Spinnaker pole on. Also a good hoist from the Dutch team. They will be fighting for this second place. The Dutch working hard to try and get some points here from the Spanish. Here, USA 18-10 coming down in 4th place, followed by Poland 11 and Germany 20. And the Swedes a little bit further back in 7th place. It's Spain, 8th around the mark. So with the Dutch team 3rd and the Spanish team here in 8th, it's about 5 points now that they are going to get closer on the lead. They were 13 points clear of the Dutch team. They're gonna lose a few points, but they will fight to get some of these boats back. We see Camille and Aloise going straight into a jibe set further back in the fleet. Not having a great day here. They came out with the blue bib being 2nd overall, but they lost that position to the Dutch. Beautiful shot here. Covering the fleet, coming around the top mark, hoisting the spinnakers, pumping the boats. We're gonna try to get to the front of the fleet gradually. Try and help our spectators to see the boats that they want to follow, how they are doing. See Italy 6 here. They were 4th overall before this race. They won the previous race. Not looking so strong on this race number 9. It's the consistency that win events. You can win one race, but if you don't perform on the other races, your scores will not help. You can see there the Spanish to windward of the Swedes. Will they be able to pick up some places? I can see a lot of comments, and I'm trying to answer all the comments. First mistake is I call actually that beach is not Praia da Rocha, it's Praia da Falésia. I'm sure everybody's laughing their ass off right now, but it's just the excitement of watching the 470 class here, giving us such a show on sailing. Amazing performance from the British team. Anna Mills and Eilith McIntyre leading the fleet in the women fleet, pulling away from Germany 69. They were second around the mark, the Germans. The Germans were lying 9th overall before this race, now second. Looking to improve their score. They could beat 2 or 3 boats overall. They were just 4 points behind the Israelis that were 6th. We could see a good move from the Germans from 9th to 6th overall after this race. Here we are following Hannah and Eilith again. Hannah driving that boat up and down the waves. Every time she steers up, she stands up as well to balance the boat, pump that mainsail. Eilith pumping that spinnaker, trying to keep that boat surfing down the wave. Right now, I don't think they're worried about their lead. They're just enjoying the sailing. Italy 6 there, coming downwind. They played the right-hand side of the course, looking downwind. They're behind the Italian 74. There is also an Italian fight here for the spot for the Olympics. Italy 6 on 50 points, 4th place before this race, and Italy 74, Benedetta and Alessandra, they were on 68 points, 18 points separating the two Italian teams. Whoever finishes ahead on these World Championships will go to Tokyo. So we can see sometimes some of these teams, their priority is the Olympic qualifying. Beautiful shot here, Anna Mills and Eilith on our drone, ripping on this reach, final reach, short reach to the finish. You can see a huge lead here on the behind them. It's both Dutch team and German team, Netherlands 11 and Germany 69, fighting for second place in this race. And it's Anna Mills and Eilith McIntyre, winners of race 9. Here we go, back to the fight for second. And who is going to get that? Is still Germany 69. Very close. Behind is the Dutch team. It is not easy to overtake in this final reach. It's just a short leg, and with the angle on the wind, it's not easy to overtake. Beautiful shots from Vilamoura. Some updates here on the mixed teams. So we just saw there the Germans cross the line, second place in front of the Dutch team in third. And on the mixed teams, Mark 4 on the leeward gate, it was Spain, still Spain 8 from Spain 4, Italy 54, GBR 11 and Italy 75. And we are going to go now for an interview on the winners of race number 9 for the girls, Anna and Eilith.
Congratulations, girls. So tell me, how do you feel? Was it a hard victory to get?
Yeah, today was really good for us. We had a bit of a point to prove. We've had a really tough week so far. and so it was just nice to come out and race like we want to race. We're going fast and really nice conditions today.
Same, it's actually nice to just sort of show up and put in a good performance finally. It's been a really hard week, so it's nice to be here and racing how we want to race.
So today was a little bit more wind and more waves. What do you think about these conditions for you?
Yeah, we really like this condition. The first race was quite light still and quite tricky, and then the breeze pumped up for the second race, which was really nice. We love the downwind, swerving with the waves. Yeah, we really like this.
Yeah, it's always nice when the breeze comes up and you can sort of put a bit more effort into the boat and work it a bit harder. It's nice to feel a bit more effect on it and get it going.
Okay, girls, thank you so much. Congratulations. Bye-bye.
Here we are back into this drone footage of the finish on the women's fleet. We will have an updated score on the website soon for this fleet. We also have some updates on the some mark roundings. We have a capsize there. There was something going on. I'm not sure which team is here. Capsized. Just on the update. On the leeward gate for the mixed teams was Spain 8 from Spain 4, Italy 54 third. In fourth place was GBR 11 and fifth was Italy 75. The top mark for the men for the second time around. The leaders were Greece 10. Second place was Spain 44 and then Portugal 21 third. Sweden 349 in fourth place and Italy 757 in fifth place. We also have an update actually on the mark number 1 for the mixed teams second time around. So it was we can see Spain 4 dropped out of the top 5. So we had Spain 8 leading the race. Second place was Italy 54, third GBR 11th. In fourth place was Italy 75 and in fifth place was GBR 889. I have a message here from my friend Martin Payne saying that the Salcombe gin on Anna and Eilith McIntyre must be one of their sponsors. My friend Stavros, he loves his gin. Also an update on how to pronounce it's Eilith McIntyre. I apologize for that. We are now finished with the race 9 for the girls. Women fleet, they finished already. It was GBR 1 winning the race from Germany 69 and Netherlands 11. And we are now going to try and find another fleet to follow. Trying to follow all these messages. Beautiful view here over the Vilamoura harbor. A lot of teams doing their preparation here in Vilamoura for the Olympics. Also some youth teams starting their Olympic careers. we are in Vilamoura showing some footage from the 470 World Championships, and this is the men's fleet. Coming into the finish is Greek team number 10, winning race 9. Vasilis and Ioannis from Greece, winning race number 9 of the men's fleet. We will see who is following the Greek here into the finishing line in a second. We have the Spanish team there. They might have finished second in this race. We will confirm now. Germany 11 here in third place. Fourth place could be Italy 757 and Portugal 21 coming in fourth place, consolidating their lead overall over the Swedes. Unless I didn't see the Swedes sail by, but it looks like Portugal finished fourth in this race. We will confirm in a minute. I see the Japanese also having a good day, stepping up their game. Swiss 46 coming down. There are the Swedes before the Swiss. So the Portuguese team once again having a great day. They had a second and a fourth yesterday. They moved up to third place overall. And they won the first race today, made a move towards the lead. And now consolidating the lead, beating the Swedish team in race number 9. This is the finish. We saw the Spanish there with the second. The Russians finishing here behind the Austrians. They were third overall, and with this result they might jeopardize their podium position for the moment. The Spanish, they finished second in this race, so they might move up to third overall in front of the Russians after this result. The Italians 757 with a good result in this race. They will consolidate their fifth. I don't think they will be able to move up on the scoreboard, but they finished ahead of Greece 1, Panagiotis and Pavlos in this race. It was Greece 10 winning this race, Vasilis and Ioannis. This is the finish of race 9 for the men fleet. Tomorrow we will be back for races 10 and 11. This is the mixed teams now coming downwind for the finish. We can see here both teams, Italy 54 and GBR 11. We will have to stop our broadcast now. I promise we will follow the mixed teams tomorrow in one race. I'll make the best effort to do that. Meanwhile, we are going into the harbor now. Thank you all for watching. It was a very exciting day. Brilliant conditions in Vilamoura once again. We have now 9 races completed after 4 days. The schedule is for another 2 races tomorrow. And the final race, the medal race for the top 10 on Saturday. I hope to see you back here. This is Pedro Andrade from Vilamoura. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.